We have gone from a world of this to a world of digital media where it's easier than ever before to produce content. It's easier than ever before to communicate with people from around the world. But that means more content, less context, more overwhelm. I'm Justin Hitt with Inside Strategic Relations. One of the challenges that we face today is that there is so much information. There's so much knowledge out there. There's so much commentary. There's so much of a distraction that we aren't necessarily getting our key activities done, our key work done. Now, I say key work is because you always have the choice to do what is necessary to get the results that you're looking for. So, specifically, what we're going to talk about today is a few strategies to zero your focus so that you can dial in on the results that you're looking for. And it all really starts with determining what the results are, because that can be your filter to narrow down focus and scope. Now, I said, look, we used to have these. I would have to deliberately subscribe to this. So my data input was slowed down. There wasn't as much free content. Now, there's always been free content. There's been free content ever since the first library where you could go and learn something without having to pay for it. So I'm not saying you had to get a subscription, but even today, when you subscribe to something, you get higher quality content, better focused to your specific needs. And so this particular, this is from 2010, February 2010, and every month I would get a new CD, and I would listen to the CD, and I would think about the CD, and then I would take anything that I can learn that was useful to what I was doing and apply it in my daily life. Now, again, you can still do this today. The only difference is this CD has a finite, limited amount of information. And so they're going to be more selective about who they put on the CD rather than YouTube, for example, that has an unlimited amount of content and anybody can publish on it. See, I can just set up my phone, record a video, and put it out as a podcast, put it out as on my website, publish it on various different platforms. And again, there's no outside body conforming whether or not I spend time, effort, and get you the best quality content. Now, for myself, I desire to get you the very best content because this content is not only for you, who might stumble across it for free, but it's also for paying clients. And so my constraint is the value my clients perceive in the materials. Now, if I'm publishing, so the first one is, what are your goals? And use that as a filter to narrow down content, to focus specifically on content that is going to help you get results. It may mean subscribing to something so that you get specific bite-sized pieces of content. It might mean paying for tools that filter or curate. But ultimately, the measure today, you have to understand this, the measure today of quality content is not the results that you get. It's how many views, how many likes, how much engagement. And so one of the challenges that I find is that I'm not being silly, I'm not being crazy, I'm not doing pranks, I'm not doing anything that's entertainment value. I try to be at least a little bit interesting, but my educational materials and my business related materials are meant to be consumed in less time. So I focus on core materials, and they're assumed to be for a specific audience. And within that audience, I'm looking for action takers. So if I have to entertain you, if I have to be a clown in order for you to pay attention, if I have to have perfect audio and perfect video for you to pay attention, I don't want you as a client. Because again, paying attention costs nothing, but can cost you everything if you're not paying attention. So ultimately, the second part of this is, are you focusing on topics that are worth your attention, that are going to give you tools, tips, insights, and actionable. So the concept that you develop through the communications or through the interaction is going to deliver to you some tangible outcome. So you listen to this and you say, okay, well, I'm going to moderate my own content or my consumption of content by the goals and outcomes I desire. I could have saved you 100 hours in a year, 200 hours in a year, 1,000 hours in a year. Now, is that tangible for me? Yes, because if you take the hourly rate that you earn and multiply it by the number of hours saved, that's an equivalency factor or a potential factor of the earnings. So if you make $10 an hour and I save you 1,000 hours, then you've got $10,000 of value gained from just thinking about first, what are your goals, insights, and where you want to go, and then only allowing into your life the content that's going to deliver that. Now, not all content's going to deliver that, and so sometimes you've got to go out and you've got to be delivered about hiring a consultant, hiring a coach, buying books and studying those books in a vacuumed environment, in an environment that's deliberately constructed to be specific to your goals and objectives. The reason I chose a black background for this video and a lot of my videos is because I can be in my office. I got a computer over there and there's some filing over here, and the black background just simplifies things and reduces the amount of distractions. But there are times where I will just take a video and there'll be trees back there, or there'll be filing, or there'll be just junk or whatever, and it's all deliberate. And what I'm saying to you is that if you're going to consume, or you're going to investigate, or you're going to research, or you're going to pick somebody's brain, choose an environment that facilitates the focus and the attention necessary to get results from that interaction. As a consultant, as a coach, people are constantly asking me, hey, can I pick your brain about such a topic? Now, the answer is yes, but I send them, here's how you sign up. Here's how you pay for a consultation. Here's how you join one of our courses. Here's how you, join the podcast. I've got more than 700 podcast episodes across a couple of different channels that I manage. And if you can't find the answers in that, then I don't want to sit across the table from you and answer your questions. Now, again, you're paying for speed because in my brain, I've cultivated the answers, and based on your situation, we would go through a consultative process. We might use a SWOT analysis. We might look at the problems, causes, and obstacles. We might develop a problem statement and then build up what's the desired outcome. Build out some root cause. Why are you not getting the desired outcome? Now, you pay for speed, but if you're just investigating by narrowing your scope based on your objectives. Now, great. I love entertainment myself. I watch comedy shows. There's some funny skits and stuff that are online. But if I'm doing that 8 hours a day, I'm not getting the results that I'm looking for. So, and the same thing goes if you're doing 8 hours of solid education, best high quality materials. If I sat around all day and just listened to these CDs, I'm not necessarily going to get any results. So the last thing I want to talk about is that we're not listening to these materials to fill in space. We're listening and we're watching and we're studying these materials to extract from it high value opportunities. And that extraction process includes note taking, but more importantly, the structure in which you save those notes. So I've got an Obsidian repository, or a big notes library with 27,000 notes in it. I go in there and I'll delete the notes and I'll cluster the notes around ideas, and I might publish a report based on some of the notes. I might record notes specifically for a project plan. The key is that we're collecting this insight and knowledge to apply in our own sphere of influence and to apply in our own benefit. So I didn't buy this CD for the entertainment value. While it's entertaining and these speakers are pretty interesting, I'm looking to solve problems. And the more problems I can solve, now again, you got to be careful here because you personality-wise, you could get in the mode of solving problems and constantly having frustrations. And then so now when all the problems are gone, you're looking for new problems to solve. That's okay if you're serving clients and you've got customers and you're using that subject matter expertise to solve their problems. But it's not good if you get in the mode of solving problems and not executing, and solving problems and not doing strategy, and solving problems and just constantly being overwhelmed by the new problems that are coming up. It's like if you're running a business. I've run businesses for many, many years. When I had 7 or 8 employees, it's no sooner do you find the problem employee and get rid of them, does the next employee fill that gap? And it wasn't necessarily the individual that was causing the problem. It might have been the how are we managing processes? Do we have any controls in place to prevent issues? Are we automating things that really ought to be automated? And are we doing things manually that really ought to be done manually? Like, for example, your customer service. If someone calls in and they get the AI machine of the day, listen to the recordings. I have been on calls and I'm trying to transfer money to do a business thing, and the bank is like, press 1 for, and I'm like, operator, give me the profanity is flying because all I want to do is this one simple thing. And I had already tried the website, and I had already tried the to call in, and I've already tried. I would have gone to a bank branch if there was one available. And this situation, I need to move that money. It needs to be there in 3 to 4 days, and I don't want to pay a bunch of extra fees for it, and I don't want to have to call in and talk to an AI. And so we have to apply our resources appropriately. So just let's summarize here. Before, there were constraints. You had to go get books from the library. You had to order CDs. You had to be a subscription, and that would actually narrow the focus of the materials, give you high quality materials. Free was still available, but there was a barrier to entry to free. Today, there is absolutely no barrier to entry to free. You can get advice from people who have no business giving advice. You can get advice from experts for free as well. Both living experts and experts from hundreds of years ago. The barrier to entry for content is near zero. And so everybody can produce it. And once the tech companies figure out how to monetize it, they don't really care what you publish as long as it doesn't violate their terms of service. And in the business world, if I'm teaching you how to be more effective and be more productive, we're not going to violate any terms of service with that. But ultimately, I'm not the only one out there that are giving these insights. Now, here's the thing. You could spend all damn day. You could spend a whole week. You could spend the rest of your life consuming. And what I'm advocating is that you learn to produce from the limited resources that you have access to. So if this is all you've got is CDs, you go out and you find an old Nightingale Conant program, and you listen to that program, and you make a list of action items, and you make a list of adjustments that you can apply in your business. You outline processes and approaches, and you go and apply those things. You'll now introduce a constraint of your time, so you're going to be busy doing rather than busy consuming, and you're going to be busy using the ideas you have now rather than the unlimited number of ideas that you can have from the outside. Information overload is a real thing. It will cause you to have imposter syndrome. It'll cause you to be a little bit of ADHD in the brain. It'll cause you to be like, well, should I be doing this or should I be doing that? And you will chase the latest, and through that, marketers are going to be able to manipulate you easier. You're going to be getting less done, and you're going to have this feeling that if I only had this other thing, I would get more done, when all you have to do is curate your time and just do things. So if there's even just one idea in here, such as like cultivate your environment to allow you to focus more on the work at hand, and then make sure that work is important to your overall goals and outcomes, if that's the only thing you pull from this video, then you take a break. You don't watch 5 more videos, because that's powerful. You can make money with that. You can improve your lifestyle. You can have better confidence that you're on the right track. You can see the results from the ideas and knowledge you already have. You can apply that subject matter expertise, whether for yourself or for a client as a consultant. And then you're going to be so much further ahead than you were when you started the video. And it will be a good investment of your time. Rather than filling in gaps, you'll be driving towards the outcomes you desire. And in the world of inside strategic relations, that's better business relationships. That's increased cash flow and profits. That's the ability to have greater influence in the marketplace. And so that's my promise to deliver for you. That's why I'm here. That's why I take the time to do the recording and really think about what we're going to talk about. But again, this is curation, these physical CDs. It's curation to choose what channels you subscribe to. It's physical. Your attention span, listening to soft music in the background while you work rather than listening to the next podcast or listening to the next educational program. If you're constantly seeking, we can monetize you. And I don't need to. I have high ticket clients. Why do I need to get $2 off an ad spend or $3 off a sponsorship? I can drive you towards outcomes, and as you become more economically stable in the marketplace, as you create better and bigger business relationships, as you gain better success, you're going to have a team full of people that we can work together. We can coach and get you to overcome the obstacles, because there will be obstacles. Nothing guarantees the obstacles go away. They just get different obstacles. Like the example of transferring money. Okay, I didn't want to go to the bank and take out like $20,000 in cash and then take it down the street and pay a vendor. I wanted to just do a transfer, just send the money to the vendor. Or I wanted to send it to a place where I can cut a check, because not all my bank accounts have check writing privileges because they're money market accounts or investment accounts or other things like that. And so if I'm going to take a giant chunk of money and move it, it's a problem. It's the same problem I've had if I want to do a small amount of money. But the principle of it is that if you're worried about the problems and you're constantly seeking solutions, somebody's going to figure out how to sell you something, and it may not be what you need. It may not be what's required to get the problem solved. So again, what is it that you want? Let's get a plan for how do you get it, and then ultimately implement the plan, measure for results, and curate what's coming into our minds so that we can focus on the outcomes we desire. Now, I do have a book called What Do You Want and How Do You Get It? It's available at www.jwhco.org, but you don't even need it. I just shared with you a lot of what you can do to get started, and then you can, this is the big thing. I would get these CDs. I would use what was on the CD. Most of these are about selling, and then I would close a deal and get like $30,000 or $10,000 or even $5,000. And then I could buy more CDs in the area that were useful to me, listen to them, use them, get more money. And then I would always earn more. Like if I give you something here and you go implement it and now you earn more money, and then buying the book is not a big deal because you've got results in advance. Anyway, I could go on for days. You don't have days, you have minutes. You have minutes to take what I've given you and start applying it to be busy getting the results that you're looking for, rather than the minutes it takes to say, oh, I'll just watch the next video. If you can do it, not everybody is going to be successful, but if you can do it, make this the last video you watch today. Implement something from this video. You can take 90 minutes, implement something from this video, and then after the 90 minutes, you can decide whether you want to get another video or you're going to bask in the results that you're getting, because you're actually accomplishing things. You're producing results rather than consuming advice, rather than consuming answers, rather than consuming distraction, rather than consuming what essentially is marketing. I'm transparent even at a fault. This whole video is designed to help you get results. And then once you get those results, you're going to say, well, damn, that Justin Hitt guy, as weird as he looks and as crappy as his video, he had a point and I got results. So I'm going to go back to the well. It's the same thing these folks were doing, and why from this is 2010. This is why I started my education early. The University on Wheels, Zig Ziglar used to talk about. I'm hoping I help just one person. That's all I need. That's going to make it worth my time and effort to spend on these podcasts and on these newsletters. If I can just help one person. Now, fortunately, I know that I'm helping thousands of people over the course of the year, but I want to help you get results. What is it that you want? What is it you can do right now without spending any money to start moving towards those results? And then what is it we're going to have to do with our focus in order to continue to get those results? Share your results in the comments below. I would love to hear about the successes you have. I would love to hear about how you've been able to get greater results and less distractions, less overload, more results. I'm Justin Hitt with Inside Strategic Relations, where we help subject matter experts and professionals Transform business relationships into profits guaranteed. The way we guarantee is because we have a high implementation rate. I curate those who implement so that they can get better results. That means if you ask questions in the comments below, I will be more than happy to answer them. I might not see the question because I'm working, but I would love to answer your questions and help you again. Focus on outcomes. Help you get the results you're looking for. Thanks for watching. Again, if you have questions about what we've covered here, or you want to join our newsletter or coaching, visit us at www.insidestrategicrelations.com. That's all one word, www.insidestrategicrelations.com. I'm Justin Hitt, and I'll see you in the next video.